Happy Sunday! This is Tiffany from A Little Help with New Friends, and I'm going to do a quick video today on what I'm doing in the kitchen with all of my basil. So I have way too much, and I'm going to just do something really quick that I thought I would film, and then hopefully it will be helpful for someone else. Okay, so this is all the basil that I had from my container garden that I've been growing since the beginning of the season. And as you can see that it has blooms, and I'm really good with going out every morning. I water my plants every morning in the early AM and then before I go to bed late at night. And I'm really good with pinching these off and keeping up with them, these little blooms here. But the last couple of days have just been really busy, so I haven't been able to. So when I went out this morning, I had a ton. So I figured it was time to cut it and bring it in and do something with it. So in the past, I've bought these little containers, and I used them a couple times here and there where I just mix the olive oil and then just put it in the food chopper for a couple seconds and mix it and then freeze it. So then I've thrown it into like soups and to sauces and things like that. But today what I want to do is freeze the whole leaf. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut all of these leaves off of the stems. The stems are going to go into my compost pile, which I'll show you soon because I'm really proud of it. And then I'm going to blanch them, and then I'm going to put them in an ice bath with after blanching, and then I'm going to freeze them. So I'm going to now cut all of the leaves off of the stems, and then I'll show you the next step. All right, so now we have our water boiling. So all of our leaves are cut. So I trimmed all of the leaves off of the stems. So now I'm going to just toss these in. Wooden spoon. All right, literally like 2 seconds. Turn it off. We have our water bath here. Toss them in. Just grab them up. Toss them in. And one thing I didn't mention before was the reasons why you don't want the buds on there, the flowering buds, is it's going to change the flavor and the taste of the basil. So plus it like pretty much kills your plant off faster. I didn't know this last year or the years before that, so I kept trying to grow basil, and then when I would cut them like just the leaves off, and then my plant would die, and then that's what was happening. So now we know. There's like a couple little leaves in there. I'm just probably gonna let them go. I don't know. Actually, let's just do this. One second. Oh, I'm clogging up my camera. Whoops. There we go. Now we got the leaves. All right, so they're in their little ice bath. And then I put some paper towels, or not paper towels, sorry. I'm trying to avoid using paper towels. So I put some just clean cloths or washcloths on my tray. And I'm just gonna take these out, put them on here, and then I'm gonna let them dry. And I can kind of like speed it up if I want to by kind of blotting them dry, but it's not gonna hurt anything to let them go. So we're just gonna do that. See, I didn't use all of the basil. Actually, I took some of it and I'm gonna give it to the neighbors because they said they could use some of it, and I had a lot, so I don't need to freeze all that much. So, because I'm going to have a couple more times where I'm going to be able to cut it this season. So that's it for that. And then for now, then I'm gonna let these dry and then I'll show the next step. Okay, so now we are at the next step. So I did have these on washcloths. They were drying and they were taking forever and they're still a little damp. So I did put them on a paper towel. But what I was doing was, because after you blanch them, the leaves get kind of like really wilted. You kind of have to open them up. And I was just taking a little piece of paper towel and kind of just blotting them, the rest of the little bit of moisture that was on there. So then once I do that, then now that they're nice and dry, all I did was just take a little Tupperware container and then put them on some wax paper that I just cut them in half. You're basically just going to lay them down and then separate them in between the layers. So just put them down there. You want to make sure you kind of keep them in one single layer and then just continue to do that. And then once I'll do all of these, because I still have a lot to put in, I'll put layers in between them and then just put on there the date of when I did it and pop it into the freezer. And that's it. All right, so the last thing was that I was going to show my compost and all of the little stems left over from the basil. So we're gonna just take it out. And I pretty much throw everything in here as much as I can. We did it in pallets, old pallets from the neighbors. And there you go, into the compost. And like you can see, it's really messy, but it's not very, very old. And I got the pallets from the neighbors next door. And then every so often I just turn it. So it's getting there, but it's better to just kind of like throw all the scraps in there rather than throw them into the trash. There's all the chickens hanging out with the turkeys. And that's it.